All right, Derby fans, who is ready for one last bout? Bout 16 of 16 about to get underway here at the 2018 Chingadera. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the rosters as safety checks are going to take place. And I'll toss it over to Hurricane May for the Arizona Derby Dames Hotties.
We got number 00, Novocaine. 1/3, Abby Arsenic. 5.7L, War Girl. 172, Pikachu. 217, Vava Doom, your captain of the Hotties. 244, Damn It, Jam It. Number 500, that's Indy. 666, Witchy Woman. 1945, Malice of Forthoff. 824, Venus Vendetta. Your co-captain, 1012, Skeletina. 1221, Pretty Please. 2115, Watermelon. And number 2187, Princess Leia.
And we're going to run through the roster now for the Los Angeles Riots B Squad. Number 77, American Booty. Number 88, Vicious Van Ho. Number 156, Horchata. Number 312.3, Mental Skate. Number 500, Jesus. Number 513, Dooms Daisy. Number 626, Heather Hex. Number 647, Whiskey Behavior. Number 681, Phoenix. Number 1202, Moulin Rouge. Number 1616, Block Matrix. Number 1692, Allison Crowley. Number 1738, Prima Killerina. Number 2207, Galaxy Babe. And number 4759, Fanny B. Workin. So we'll be getting underway shortly here. Let's get a cheer from the crowd for anybody that has been here for every single bout of Chingadera. We got a few people anyhow. All right, and with that, it looks like we're about ready to get underway as everybody is in position. So we'll be getting underway here shortly.
So up on the jammer line, we got number 2187, Princess Leia for your hotties going up against Fanny B. Reckon for your Riots.
And blasting her way to the front of the pack and taking lead jammer status in the first jam of the afternoon to a massive cheer from this hometown crowd is Princess Leia. Fanny B. Workin is out of the pack as well for the LA Riots. Princess Leia up to the high side, trying to get through those last two blockers, trying to get a hip stuck in front of him, and goes ahead and calls off the jam. And we start off with points for both teams. Fanny B. Workin able to slide in there and steal 2 points in that jam, so it's 4-2 after the first jam.
We got Skeletina up on the jam line for your hotties against Mental Skates for your Riots.
Waiting to make sure everything is good, and we are underway. No penalties in that first jam, so a full complement of skaters out there trying to get to the front with Skeletina, but knocked off her skates.
Nova giving some good offensive O to Tina so she can get out, but not before Mental gets out right behind her.
Skeletina out in front, Mental skate right behind, and Skeletina calls it off.
On the jammer line, we have Malice for your hotties going up against.
That was Block Matrix for Los Angeles as the jammer here.
You got better eyes.
Down onto the infield.
You got better eyes than I do. Malice coming up to the pack, gonna fight her way through. She makes it past a couple, and that looks like Indy's giving her some offensive help in the back.
The pack is tightly clustered here in the far turn as they prepare to come in front of us. Block Matrix exits the pack as Malice, a fourth eye, gets by in her scoring pass. Malice is going to keep an eye on things here. Malice shrugs at the bench and calls off the jam.
We got Pikachu, but first an official timeout.
And we've got our first official timeout of the game signaled by our game executioner. So we will step aside while they discuss the penalties to be handed out in that last jam. And we will let you know that most of the vendor things have been shut down for the day. The food truck, Fish Taco Truck, is going to be outside for just a few more minutes. They are expecting to pack up towards the end of the first quarter here. So if you are looking to get a bite to eat, if you perhaps were just on the track skating and looking to get a bite to eat, you can step outside to the Off the Hook Taco Truck. Pick yourself up a delicious taco. I had fish tacos for lunch. Wonderful. So you can definitely pick up some of those. The Arizona Derby named snack bar appears to be shut down. The popcorn machine is not running. Boy, I'll tell you what. It's been a long Chingadera. I hope you've got some snacks.
We got Pikachu on the line for your hotties going up against Prima Killerina for your Riots.
Yeah. It's still the Riots. Another tightly bunched pack. No penalties having been assessed. Well, we do have a penalty on one skater for Arizona who's in the penalty box. Pushing away to the front of the pack and forcing those blockers out of play is Pikachu, and she is your lead jammer. Out of the pack as well comes Prima Killerina.
Pikachu coming up quick to this pack, looking at her blocker saying, get some O going.
LA is pushing the pace here. They're trying to play keep away with that pack and force the hand. Pikachu gets by a couple of skaters, picks up the penalty point as well, and calls off the jam.
But it looks like we have a penalty on American Booty with a cut track. So we're going to have an uneven pack here with Arizona's advantage. We got Slay on the track going up against Fanny B. Reckon for your Riots. Both jammers pushing through that pack, pushing high, pushing low. Those are some strong, tight walls that both teams are putting in.
Fanny B. working now up towards the front. Meanwhile, down to the inside and emerging as your lead jammer is Princess Leia. Fanny B. working still tangled up in the pack there. Her pivot takes down a blocker, and Fanny B. working exits the pack as well. Now coming up around the far turn and hang up into the nearly stationary pack as Princess Leia crashes into the back of an LA blocker, pops up, and calls off the jam.
We got War Girl on the line for your hotties, taking on Mental Skate for your Riots.
There was one penalty assessed, two penalties assessed there, excuse me. We've got two penalties on the LA Riots and one skater for Arizona, low block on Abby Arsenic. So smaller pack out there than usual, and War Girl, while we were getting all that sorted out, has already emerged as lead jammer and is rocketing her way around the pack. Mental Skate out as well, and will be coming around. War Girl up to the high side, fights her way through the first blocker, ducks her way past that pivot, picks up her points and calls off the jam.
We got Indy on the line for your hotties, taking on.
Indy fights her way to the front of the pack, and Indy 500 now is off to the races, coming on around the far turn and down the front straightaway to catch this pack. Your LA blocker is now getting, your LA jammer knocked down, and Indy able to rocket by on the inside. Indy looking to lead the most laps here during this race as she comes down through the first corner and back up the back straightaway she goes. And your black jammer, Los Angeles jammer, Block Matrix is out. Indy knocked onto the infield, gets up to reestablish and goes ahead and calls off the jam.
We got Watermelon on the line for your. Look like it's a pack advantage for the Ryettes with a 3-blocker wall that the hotties are going to put up. But first, we're going to have an official timeout.
And so we reestablish with Watermelon for Arizona and Prima Ballerina for Los Angeles.
Prima working her way around those 2 blockers, trying to them out. Both jammers fighting hard through that pack. Block taking on 2 more hotties, but it looks like Witchy was able to claim lead before Block could make it past those hottie blockers. Witchy coming up to the pack, fighting her way through it against a strong defensive 4-wall by LA.
Not to be outdone, that 3-wall up at front for Arizona, linked and forming an impenetrable wall of gold. One of the LA blockers comes up to try to assist, and both jammers hemmed in right now.
Witchy fighting hard to get her way through that pack for her scoring pass.
Block Matrix up to the very front of the pack there, still fighting that Arizona 3-wall. And Witchy Women goes ahead and calls off the jam, burns off those last couple seconds on the jam clock.
It looks like we have
Skeletina for the Arizona Hotties.
Mental's making out of the pack, but she was met up by 2 blockers, and she does actually make it through the pack. But not.
Skeletina got through there, picked up her points, and called off the jam.
We got Malice on the line for your hotties, going up against Block Matrix. Looks like we might have a full. Nope, we're down a blocker for LA. Malice breaking through that pack. Slow pack moving along as they're only hitting turn 2. Block fighting through, making it through. Malice coming up for her scoring pass. She makes it. She's going for that high with some offensive help from Indy. Takes that low, gets hit by an LA skater, and gets on and calls it off before Block can get any points.
Setting up the jam now for Arizona is going to be War Girl. And along the inside of the track is going to be Prima Killerina for Los Angeles.
Both jammers making it out, but it looks like LA's going to have the lead. Oh, wait, no. Oh, War Girl just took a nasty hit by Prima. It's still a jammer race, though. But Prima makes it to the pack, picks up a couple points, and calls it off before War Girl can get to her.
That is going to be Princess Leia on the jammer line for the Hotties. And jamming for LA is Fanny B. Workin. in what will more than likely be the last jam of the first quarter with the game clock approaching 15 seconds. And we are underway.
Slaya taking that low from her offensive help output the front, but Prima gets hit off, or Fanny gets hit off. Slaya coming out to the pack, working her right through the middle. She takes that high and she is out. Fanny still working, getting her way in there. She's met up at a 3-wall up front of Gold, pushing them out of play, and she's now out.
And that is going to do it for that jam. We are going to wait for the score here. And as an 8-point jam for Arizona to close out the first quarter. So we're going to step aside for a few minutes here at the quarter break with your score at the moment. Arizona 52, Los Angeles 15. Closely with the Department of Education and the USDA to make sure our children are getting what they need daily to stay focused and get the best.
Looks like Cheeses is still working her way around those Arizona blockers, and she does, and she is out. Vava coming up to the pack, making it past those blockers. Pushing one of them out of play, or trying to, and she does. And Adam tells her to call it off.
So a 4-point jam there, and lining up on the jammer line for Los Angeles is Phoenix. And lining up on the jammer line for Phoenix is Indy 500. So Indy is doing the jamming here for the Hotties. Bodies And setting up now is going to be Princess Leia for the Arizona Hotties, and it
Fighting up against those LA blockers, hitting her own players, taking that low. She's got one more to go around. And Watermelon coming through, trying to keep one. She's out high and gets her scores. And before American Booty can get any, she calls it off. We need to slay on the gem line for your hotties, taking Mulan Road for your LA Riots. Mulan hitting that high side as she takes out some blockers with her, and she's your lead jammer. Princess Leia fighting through those two LA blockers in the front, trying to push them out of play. She gets out, but she is not lead. Mulan coming up to that pack. Arizona's strong three-wall. She trips and falls over her own skaters. Slaya coming to the pack. Mulan calls it off, though, before Slaya can maybe.
3 scoring passes for Mental Skate there, and a 15-point power jam for Los Angeles. Setting up on the camera line is going to be Moulin Rouge for Los Angeles and Pretty Please for Arizona.
Both jammers hitting a strong defensive wall from both teams, but it looks like Mulan was recycled. Pretty Please fighting her way through, hitting her wall, going through one last jammer, and she's your lead jammer for the Hotties. Mulan still in that pack, getting taken out by her own blockers. Pretty Please reaching this pack, looking at her offensive blocker, finding out where to go. She gets around, and she is out again for another scoring pass.
Able to outrace that LA pivot to the 20-foot line. Did Pretty Please, and is coming around again. 9 seconds to go in this jam with Pretty Please now approaching the pack. And she threads her way through the pack. Goes ahead and calls off that jam to burn the last few seconds off the jam clock.
It looks like we're going to have